What's going on, guys? Chase with iDub Hockey, hanging out with Tyson, who's the senior brand manager of sticks for Bauer Hockey. Tyson, we've got your really exciting Bauer Vapor HyperLite line in front of us. Before we start talking tech and spec and upgrades, how would you describe the overall flex profile and style of shooter that you built this Vapor line for?
Yeah, so Vapor, as we come into the HyperLite line, we're not changing anything from the performance attributes that we want to be bringing forth. It's been our most popular model in the market for some time. And what Vapor is built on, it's a low kick profile. So what that means is that the energy is really happening in the lower third part of this stick. So that's where you're going to get the most whip. That's where the action is meant to happen in Vapor. And where that really comes into play is for players that are looking to get the puck on and off their blade as fast as possible. So whether it's a one-touch pass, whether you're coming in and you want to get that quick release, the real idea is if you're a player that really likes to kind of have your hands out in front of you when you're shooting, you're not loading the stick maybe as much as somebody that's starting from their back foot pulling to their front foot, just something that wants on and off the blade quickly. That's what Vapor is really designed to do.
And so now with that in mind, and Vapor always being just so popular and well received for Bauer, it's always a tough job to improve on the previous generation. So what was your goal this year with the 2021 HyperLite line?
So there's three big things that we're focusing on this year. Like I said, we wanted to make sure that we maintained, the core values of what Vapor is representing. So that quick release. But ultimately, what we're trying to do is we want to make the product lighter and a little bit more well-balanced. So we want to create the best Vapor feel that we've ever been able to bring to the market across all of the price points. The other big thing is we want to be able to get those shots on and off that blade faster than we could with the previous model. So really, again, building upon that foundation of that quick release, we want to make that quick release even better. Not allow the goal is to be able to have time to react when you're going and getting that shot off. And then the last piece is really about value. We wanted to add durability, that durability side into it, make the stick stronger. So being able to pull all those three things together is an interesting task. Be able to make the sticks lighter, being able to make them, be able to release the puck faster, but at the same time, adding durability and combining all those three into one.
And these have always been your lightest, quickest releasing sticks. So it's always great to hear that durability is always at the forefront of your guys' mind. And with HyperLite, Flylight was incredibly lightweight. So trying to improve on these three categories is, I'm sure, very difficult. So, lightness is always the first thing, whether you check online or in store, how light is a stick. So let's walk me through the differences in weight this year and how you were able to make the lightest stick even lighter.
Yeah, so for the HyperLite itself, we were able to take weight out of the product actually across all the flexes. So that was a big goal for us, as we weren't just focusing on the senior price points, we're also focusing on the intermediate and junior price points as well. So from a senior standpoint, the Flylight was at 390 grams. For HyperLite, we're going down to 385 grams, so 5-gram weight difference. But the big thing that we focused on was improving the balance point as well. So that's really when you're picking up a stick, that feel that you're going to get, the weight ratio between the blade and the shaft of the product. So we've improved that balance point. So when you pick up that stick, it's going to feel even lighter than removing just the 5 grams out of that product. But one thing, as I mentioned before, we are very excited about, we're dropping anywhere from 15 grams all the way down to 30 grams as we're moving through intermediate and junior. So for all players of all levels, you're really going to feel a difference when you're picking up a HyperLite stick off the shelf for the first time.
And continuing with feel and maybe moving into the durability zone too, one of the big changes this year that I noticed is the Hyper Core blade. It seems like it does a lot for durability, for the balance point, and a little for the weight as well too. So Vapor's always been my personal favorite puck feel, and I know there's a lot of other players that like that stiff, very lively feel. So let's walk us through the HyperCore blade, and then make sure we touch on feel too and how that maybe differs or how similar it is to previous Vapors as well.
Yeah, so we are really excited. This is kind of the big change going from the Flylight to the HyperLite is the HyperCore blade technology. And essentially what we've done there is we've added 2 carbon bridges that are fused into that stiff foam. And really you're getting a few benefits from that. So Overall, the stability of the blade is going to be a little bit better, but we are really getting a much stronger blade out of this. So a lot of people talk about that idea of having a low kick with a stiff blade. So that's something that we believe in. We think that the low kick point, because you're getting a lot of movement in that taper, you want to have a stiff blade that goes with it so that they're kind of working very well together when you're trying to handle that puck or going to take shots. So this is really feeding into that and just taking it to the next level. And ultimately, those bridges are going to do a few things. You're going to get a little bit more pop off that blade. So a lot of the players that are going out there, they use that term pop. This is going to add to that pop because it's going to have a little bit of a stiffer front to it because of those bridges in there. But not only that, you're also going to have a longer lasting pop. So when kids are going, everybody loves that feel when you get on the ice for the first time. You have a brand new stick in your hand. You take those first shots, that the puck really flies off the stick. We want to maintain that feel for as long as possible. And that's one of the bigger benefits of what HyperCore is going to do. Those bridges are going to add that stability, but they're adding a lot of durability to the actual structure of the blade. So you're going to get that new feel in that blade for a longer period of time.
Perfect. And like you said, it's similar in stiffness and feel, but maybe just a little bit enhanced from what we've seen in Flylight in years past too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not losing if you like the feel of the Flylight blade, you're still going to have that kind of stiff feel that works with that taper, as I mentioned before. So it's not a dramatic change to it. It's really adding to the durability and the toughness of the blade and adding and getting more pop off of those off the blade when you shoot.
So the other big change that I've noticed is the optimized carbon layup in the HyperLite this year. So let's run through that and how does that benefit the player this year looking for a quicker, lighter, stronger vapor stick?
Yeah, so this really feeds into the stronger part. As you mentioned, again, we wanted to try to enhance the performance and push the limits as far as we could, but again, adding value through durability. So the optimized carbon layup is all about durability. What we've really done is, we are fortunate enough to be able to have the data now to really analyze where the stress zones are in the sticks when kids go to take quick release shots. So we have a lot of data that we look through. We can see exactly where those stress zones are. So what the optimized zones or optimized carbon fiber layer is really just adding carbon fiber layers into those stress zones, knowing like that's the high area of breakage. So trying to really figure that out, make sure we're accommodating for it and just putting that additional carbon fiber layers where the stick needs it the most.
And so it sounds like that works with that flagship ACL technology we've seen for a few years, as well as the monocomp construction, as well as the TechStream carbon fiber. So these three items, including that new layup, have been around for a while. They've made, these top line Bauer sticks so incredibly popular, but for maybe someone who hasn't walked through those three, key components of these vapor sticks, can you quickly walk us through and talk about their benefits as well?
Yeah, so I'll start with TechStream carbon fiber. So that is the carbon fiber that's the kind of outer wrap of what we have on that stick. And the big benefits of TechStream is that it's a very, very lightweight carbon, but it's very strong. So, the way that the carbon fiber is weaved together, it creates a very durable product for impact. So whether you're getting slashed or you're taking pucks off the blade, we have TechStream throughout the entire stick. So that really is the benefit. It's lightweight, but it's strong. So it's going to allow your stick to last longer while reducing the weight, obviously, overall. From an ACL standpoint, that was really the nucleus of that started with our ADV series. So back with our Vapor ADV, that's what allowed us to really dramatically drop weight out of our product. And really the background behind that in a simplistic form is just the way that we stack the carbon fiber layers. So you obviously have multiple layers within a stick on the shaft and in the blade. And so when you go to do that, it's actually allowing you to stack it in different ways. So we're getting multiple layers. That's, again, just adding to the strength while reducing the weight of the product.
And then lastly, the monocomp is really what brings those two together. So let's touch on that before we move on to the XE taper as well.
Sure. So this is something that's exclusive to Bauer. We're excited and love talking about it. It's been something that's on our high-end stick. So monocomp just means it's an actual true one-piece stick. So if you guys were sitting at the factory watching one of our top-end sticks we made, it's just one full kind of overall mold that gets all pulled together into one structure. So the benefits of that, the way that I like to explain this is, if you have one structure, it's almost just like driving through an open road where there's no bumps, right? You're going to be able to move and go at a fast pace. There's no bumps that are going to slow you down or, like a speed bump in a parking lot. When you have a two-piece stick, we've gotten very good at being able to kind of fuse two pieces together to get it closer to feeling like a one piece. But no matter what, when you're fusing two things together, there's going to be some extra material that happens down where the blade meets the shaft. And so that's where I like to say, you're going to get some level of speed bump in that road. So when you're loading and that energy is going from the shaft down to the blade, it's going to hit those bumps and it's going to get slowed down slightly. So that's the real benefit of the one piece, the monocomp that we have, is that you're getting a very flush, nice flat road where that energy is going to transfer down from the shaft into the blade.
That's a great way of explaining the one piece versus the two piece. I've never heard it put that way, but that was perfect. But let's also talk on the XE taper. Again, been around, very successful, especially for the Vapor. And, so if you haven't checked out these Vapor sticks, if you've been sleeping on them somehow, what's the XE taper and how does that benefit, that quick release shooter?
Yeah, so again, something that's exclusive to Bauer. It's really a great technology for low kick. The shape and the way that we've been able to formulate this, again, is all about maintaining the stability so you have control over that puck. So when you have this down low, when we're looking where kind of the throw right where the blade meets into the taper, it's a little bit thicker there to be able to get that stability to control the puck on one-timers, whether you're taking a slap shot or a snap shot. But then when you get a little bit higher in the taper, it's a much thinner portion. And what that really allows to do, you're getting a lot of whip. So you're getting a lot of flexibility in that part of the stick. Again, that XE taper is a low kick specific technology. So you want all that action happening down low. So you're going to get that nice bend, but that blade's going to stay in control where you want it. So you have control over that puck. And it's kind of that combination of that thinner area, that kind of elliptical look to it. Mm-hmm. And then that stability zone right where the bottom of the taper meets into the blade to have that control to put the puck where you want to.
So just from top to bottom, inside and out, this HyperLite is truly an elite level stick with all the performance upgrades and materials that you could possibly want. So if you are looking for elite level performance, but maybe at a little more of an approachable price point, but you still want that, high-end feel, lightweight sensation, you're going to look at the 3X Pro. Like you mentioned in the intro, every stick has been upgraded in terms of lightweight, a quick release, as well as overall stronger build. So walk me through these 3 key points on what really makes a 3X Pro improved over the previous 2X Pro.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, it's what we still considered a elite level stick. So for that player that's playing 5-6 times a week, that's really maybe not looking to spend up to the top price point. So really the way we look at this is it's an elite level stick. Our HyperLite obviously has all the bells and whistles, all of our top end technologies that we can load into one product. The 3X Pro is really about maybe stripping some of those technologies out, but still really focusing on getting the best possible performance. So you're coming in at 385 grams with the HyperLite. The 3X Pro is actually coming in at 410 grams. So if you think back to our top end sticks a couple of years ago, that was the weight that we were at before. So we think we're getting a lot of value through there. It's actually dropped in weight versus where the 2X Pro was. So the 2X Pro is about 415 grams. We're coming in about 410 grams with the 3X Pro on the senior. We've actually even dropped 10 grams out of the intermediate sticks as well. So you're getting a real high performance product. Really feels like a top end stick. When we do testing and perception testing, this really, if you hand this stick to somebody versus some of our older, like a 1X Lite, for example, our old top end Vapor sticks, it's a side by side comparison. So able to reduce the weight out of this product. It actually is going to be able to release the puck, as we talked about before, about 5% better where the 2X Pro was. And you're even adding more durability there as well. So a lot of value packed in there. And we're doing that all while reducing the actual price of that product.
So, you hit everything and then some as far as the upgrades go. And like you said, it's really cool to see how well those secondary, third price points are upgrading. Not just the flagship, seeing how light and strong you can get it, but seeing the 3X Pro and even the 3X2. like we mentioned off camera, it sounds a little redundant. Everything is getting lighter, it's releasing quicker, and it's getting stronger. So let's talk a little more about the specifics on the 3X, because those are three, that's what you look for in a new stick if you're going to make an investment like this. So let's walk through the 3X specs as well too.
Yeah, so 3X, again, this is where we're getting down what we would consider kind of a performance level sticks, or our higher end performance level. It's got a lot of elite level technologies packed into this. So again, very lightweight product. Our previous model, the 2X team, so this is replacing that. It's coming in 5 grams lighter. So we're going all the way down to 430 grams, which is a pretty lightweight stick for where this is price positioned in the marketplace. Again, focusing on reducing the weight out of the intermediate and junior as well. And then again, this is really on a performance side, we want to make sure that we're adding as much value as we can. So making a long lasting stick. So this is actually coming in 12% tougher than our 2X team as well. And this is all due to being able to, jam pack as many of those elite level technologies as we can into the product. So things like our HP mold, which again, we talked about the monocomp. This is kind of that fused 2-piece, but feels like the 1-piece. Mm-hmm. Our max balance, which is a way for us to reduce weight out of the blade to get that nice balance point within that product. So, we believe when people pick this stick up off the shelf, hopefully they're blown away by the weight and feel of this product. And then when they get on the ice, we've had a lot of perception testing at this price point, and it's been very positive feedback to date.
To piggyback on your point that you made on the 3X Pro, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, this would have been one of the lightest sticks out on the market too. So it's really crazy to see just how evolved these stick lines have come from top to bottom. But let's not forget about the X 3.7, built for that competitive player that's, again, looking for maximum value and, still wants a stick that's going to have a really nice quick release and feel good in the hand. So what are a couple key specs and improvements that we find here too?
So the biggest piece for the X 3.7 when we're going into it is we've actually brought our XE taper down all the way to that price point. So that's adding a lot of value. And from a performance standpoint, it's a great opportunity for players that whether they're, just getting the game or trying it or, moving up in that from an opening price point up in the next one, it's creating a lot of that value. So again, we're able to reduce the weight out of it. We're able to get the puck off the blade faster than we ever have before. And we're doing all that while adding durability. So again, hitting on those lighter, quicker, stronger key points. And then for me, the big takeaway is the XE taper that we're adding with all those benefits that we discussed before.
Yeah, just the stability too that, I've always been a big fan of that elliptical taper and now seeing it all the way down to this opening price point, that should be reason enough, as well as the extra strength and the lighter feel as well. But Tyson, thank you so much for sitting down with us today and walking us through the new 2021 Bauer Vapor HyperLite line.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And then for you guys at home that want to check out all 4 price points, make sure you head over to icewarehouse.com.